All right. This is watching Battlestar Galactica today. Just a little bit though. Battlestar except unlike Battlestar Galactica, this version has an ending. I don't look. Season 4 was weird. Why was season 4 so weird? Didn't they make it like 5-10 years after season 3? Like they came back to what was the deal? What happened? They made season 3 and then the show just stopped for years and then they came back and then there was ghosts. What? I don't know. But anyway, so I mean it's kind of an ending here. They just hit the reset button because, you know, Star Trek, that's what they do. But it should be good. We get a nice destroy the Voyager, as Janeway loves to do. And then after the two-parter of Battlestar Galactica is Random Thoughts, where B'Elanna literally runs into the Thought Police. And, you know, she has angry thoughts because she's an angry lady, because she's a Klingon. Half Klingon. So anyway, how's the weather?
Pretty good.
Nice
You know, it's all this either be angry, fix something, or a Paris episode. I get the distinct feeling that there should have been, like, an actual therapist on Voyager.
We just need the doctor. It's fine. Or maybe Tuvok could just mind meld with B'Elanna to transfer some of his control. He loves doing that.
I don't think messing with one person's head by introducing your own is such great medical advice.
What do you mean? It works great every time. He fixed Suitor. Is that not evidence enough?
I mean, fixed is a really interesting term for that man.
Well, what word would you use?
If anything, it's more akin to a chemical restraint.
He castrated Suitor. It worked so well. Is that what you mean?
More like sedated.
Oh, okay. Oh, I should probably also say, yeah, the episodes are Year of Hell Part 1, Year of Hell Part 2, and Random Thoughts. So everyone queue up Year of Hell Part 1. We'll be pressing play in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Everyone queue. Yeah. Suitor was... I mean, they kind of do the Suitor plot again with that guy who had the chemical imbalance in his brain and they fix it, but it's like, oh, he's a different person now. He's not a murderer anymore. He can go free. And then they kill him anyways. And
I mean, it's better than... I mean, granted, it is a really good discussion about capital punishment.
And how the Federation may or may not have it. It's unclear.
Yeah.
They either do or do not, depending on which episode you're watching and whether it's convenient to the plot.
And whether or not you went to Talos for.
Yes. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, so you said the weather's okay, so like nice and rainy, I assume?
No, we actually just got our first cold front.
Good. Gyrinx, how's your weather?
Been nice. Lately, anyway.
What does that mean? Everyone always says nice or good, but no one ever explains what they mean by that. Do you consider sun to be good? Do you consider clouds to be good? What kind of weather is good?
But sun is nice. Sun is good. Sun is all too uncommon here in England.
Okay. Well, maybe you shouldn't have betrayed your nation and moved over there.
Yeah, I suppose.
Let's see, what else? There was something else I wanted to say. It's probably not important, because I don't remember what it was. The most important thing is probably that everyone should be ready to press play in 15 seconds. On Year of Hell, Part 1. Which, as we all know, was going to be originally a whole season. And then one of the producers said no? Probably Berman. But anyway, press play in 2, 1, 0. It's always Berman. Have we seen this matte painting? This looks like... It looks very familiar. And yeah, it doesn't look familiar anymore. Because surely they didn't make a whole big matte painting, a brand new one for a 2-second shot. Surely.
Yeah, probably.
Was it Romulus? It might be Romulus.
Well, that wasn't very nice. I like life forms and man-made objects.
Oh,
But
it's
what
not
if they're
trees, so
Romulans?
True.
That was a big crystal they had, though.
Eh,
there is a scene that Netflix's She-Ra stole from this episode.
What?
Yeah.
Netflix's what?
So Netflix's remake of the She-Ra series. They stole the dinner scene.
Okay. So, this episode, what do I remember from this episode? Chakotay, like, betrays Voyager and starts to work with the Krenim. Does anyone know why? It didn't seem like he had a plan, he just thought they were cool. He
I
just bought the
think
brainwashing.
I think it was a zero sum game to him. Like either Voyager might get destroyed or Voyager will get wiped out of existence. So
Okay.
know that if it was Paris who betrayed Voyager, then they would never have brought him back aboard.
It's fine. Well, I mean, Paris already betrayed all of Starfleet once and they brought him aboard. It's probably fine. Everyone's chill.
Yeah, they're really chill for a bunch of people who committed acts of terrorism.
But it's the kind of terrorism that's like that cool rebel storyline kind of terrorism. It's like Jedi terrorism. Like Luke Skywalker terrorism.
Have you seen the compilation clips of someone saying all the war crimes to Star Wars: The Clone Wars set to Mr. Blue Sky?
I haven't, but there's a lot. I
Actually,
particularly
really
remember
funny.
the time Kit Fisto, was it Kit Fisto? Might have been Kiari when one of the Jedi Masters took a flamethrower to a bunch of alien baby egg sacs. That was messed up.
Well, it is, but like, um, they were being used in biological warfare, so
I think you might be thinking of different alien egg sacs that they torched with a flamethrower.
no, I'm thinking about the Geonosian egg sacs.
Yeah, so they torched. How many did they torch? Because the ones I'm thinking of were just like in a cave that they needed to walk through. It was like, well, while we're here.
Hmm.
so much for those dolphins they had back on the Enterprise.
Yeah, she actually made hundreds of millions of dolphins go out of work. More jobs lost to automation, the horror.
Thanks, Borg.
They
Jeez,
took
what
her
have the Borg
job.
ever done for us?
Yeah, just wait until you
Brought
watch Picard.
unification. You can't phrase it. Oh, Janeway got new hair this episode again.
So did Neelix.
Did he?
They look
Oh,
shinier.
he's been conditioning his mane.
So I remember reading a theory somewhere that chilaxians are supposed to have like a lot more hair, like 80s hair. And I was wondering, does that mean that every chilaxian we've seen just looks like hot garbage?
Well, I mean, hmm, that. Yes, yes, it does. Oh god, look at those chairs in the background. Those weird
Nope.
triangle chairs. That looks so uncomfortable.
They're not ergonomic. I think only an Adosian would like that.
That's an Adosian. Adosians are the farm people.
No, no, I'm talking about the three-armed people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They run the farm and the
Oh,
dove.
sorry, I thought you were referring to the Baku for a second.
No, different farm people. Farm in all caps.
Mm,
Was that a triangle? What was that? It was triangular. I didn't get a good look. I was looking away for a second.
likewise.
I don't care. Cut communication so I can look at the ship. What is it? Dude, come on.
He has crazy eyes.
Okay, not a triangle. Never
Nope.
mind. Doesn't matter. It's a fake. But yeah, no, Janeway doesn't believe in diplomacy if she has the bigger gun.
Honestly, I think the Delta Quadrant just made them a little bit more callous.
A little more equinoxy. Also, those Zal ships kind of remind me of Jem'Hadar ships, or Dominion. I wonder if they were repurposed props.
Maybe they just flipped them upside down. I like the design.
Looks a little bit like he has a skin disease, but yeah, he's cool. He's like a colorful Klingon.
He's like a more tolerable Bolian.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Are you trying to mess with a Bolian? You don't mess with a Bolian. What do you have against Bolians?
I'm from California and I don't trust people who smile that much.
You're okay.
I used to run into a lot of, uh,
Bolians?
no, just, people who said that they weren't in a cult who were definitely in cults.
Okay. Cool. I don't know what part of California you're in, but it's clearly a very different part.
Oh.
And they're gone. Ooh. A little bit
Oh,
bigger, a little bit cleaner. And they're screwed. Great. Oh, oh, nobody important, just a red shirt. I thought
oh.
they might have been bold and just killed off a main character immediately.
No, I think that's how Hess should have died. And the shoes on the other foot.
Janeway, have you tried just going around? Oh, that sounds like a good deal to me. I'm in.
Mhm. Because I make too many of my own.
You weren't already at battle stations? Janeway! Janeway, you're under attack. You need to be at battle stations already.
I heard this is where the Voyager nerds hang out. Is that right?
No.
Yeah, we're watching Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Was this before or after Battlestar Galactica? Well, I guess
Before.
there's the one from like the 40s.
What? Battlestar
with
Galactica
the-
from the 40s?
With a Captain Adama that looks like a wizard?
No, it's not from the 40s, dude. Come on.
The 20s? 1843? 1727? Seriously, he looks like a wizard.
I think actually the special effects for the original Battlestar Galactica series in 1978 was done by ILM.
Okay.
You're light.
Yeah, and I'm going to put a picture of the original Admiral Adama on the screen for a bit.
Yeah, I know
Seriously,
what he
just
looks
look
like.
at him.
He's going to give you a quest.
He's... That's not what I picture when I think of astronauts.
Oh.
Are we already on Year of Hell?
Yes, this is Year of Hell Part 1 at 11:41, 11:42, 11:43. How complete? Yeah, so just stop.
Um,
Okay, so yeah, just leave. Just stop. You did it. Congratulations.
so does anybody have a good method for disabling Windows 11 update?
Yes, the best way to do that is to update to Windows 11.
Yeah, I don't want Windows 11.
Well,
Or
sucks
you
to
could use a
suck.
hammer.
Hammers are good.
Are they giving you no choice but to go to Windows 11?
I don't know. I upgraded, so I don't get messages anymore. It's the same thing. It's the same OS.
It's the same thing with more telemetry and more overhead and more stuff, tendrils in your shit.
Mm-hmm.
And more processor sorting.
There's no performance advantage. Wasn't this whole thing started because they started messing around with stuff? Why don't they just erase themselves? And then wouldn't that solve the problem?
That sounds like a solution we might eventually get.
It seems like the obvious solution, even from the beginning.
But even if people know it's logically the right solution, I feel like it's hard to get people to murder themselves. 'Cause, like, what if it doesn't work? Then they're dead.
No, this is an actual plot point for Attack on Titan.
Attack on
People-
Titan.
What? In what way?
So, are you familiar with like the base plot of Attack on Titan?
There's
Yes.
big, fleshy people who show their muscles, and they go and attack the big wall.
Okay.
And there's grappling
so-
hooks.
Big fleshy people. There's there's titans that eat people. And it turns out the titans that eat people are in fact actually people themselves.
And then you have essentially a cast of people who can control the rest of a single race that can turn into these giant zombies. And one guy just dead us says, hey, maybe we should just make us all sterile so we all die out.
So he just wants to kill his whole race?
Hmm.
Okay. Are you sure about that, Tuvok? You 100% on that count?
You know, if they just showed one scene in a cargo bay where they're literally just making more torpedoes, no one would be
Just,
joking about this.
we don't even have to see it. It could just be a throwaway line. It's like, oh, yes, that antimatter we found for the torpedo tube. It's like, come on. Give us something, Berman.
Like, why give us specific schematics and
Why
then go
show us that
against that?
Voyager has 2 warp cores if it's dead in the water when they lose 1 warp core several times?
Like, if they establish, like, you need one to go at impulse and then the other one to actually go to warp, that'd be interesting.
It ain't called no impulse core.
You know what I mean?
I know. Oh, Doctor gets to kill somebody. Yes, do it. I.
I
How
understand
come
this
this doesn't
Are
cause
we-
this program to break down?
because
Because in
Way
this
to make a
case,
choice.
he held it
it
open,
gets wiped out. Yeah, it gets wiped out at the end.
and he held the door for as long as he could.
Yeah.
His program broke down when he made a choice when there was no clear right answer. This, I feel like it was pretty clear that it had to be done.
Why? Shouldn't red alert still be up until the damage has been fully assessed?
No. Everyone needs to just chill out for a minute.
We need dialogue lines for this scene, so you know.
Oh, look at all those rocks on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
This is the episode where they have to live through 2020. But I'm kind of
No,
excited for this one.
that's the Vidians.
Um, I'm not sure if this is my favorite episode. I think something about the Tuvok Freakosaurus episode still like makes me crack up a little bit.
Doesn't Neelix become a security officer in this though?
Unfortunately,
Yeah, maybe. Um, I feel like this is like the all-time best episode of Voyager, though.
I would like to respectfully disagree.
There's some other good ones. There's the one where they go to the fast planet. That one's good too.
Yep, with that Mako on it as the astronaut,
Yeah.
Corporal
Um,
Chang.
I would
I,
say,
I'm so
I would,
far though. I've sort of forgotten how much better the show is in the second half now that we've gotten over the hump. You know, it's still a Star Trek Voyager and it has its weird moments, but I feel like the average episode quality dramatically improves.
mhm.
Ryan, if you had access to the Crinum time ship, what would you erase from existence?
You.
Oh no. But Ryan, haven't you
Yeah?
realized that if it weren't for me coming on these streams and annoying you, that never would have driven you to make all of those extra edits or something just to, or I've actually like introduced
Lore.
antibodies to you that
What?
saved your life.
What are you talking about?
Let's see, if I could wipe away one thing from history, it would be the guy who thought it'd be a great idea to have wet markets in China.
Hmm.
I think I would wipe out Rick Berman.
Oh, that's also maybe good.
I mean, I could
But
deal
if
with the millions dead, but making weird scenes in my sci-fi show, that's too much.
but if Rick Berman didn't exist, we wouldn't have Star Trek Voyager.
Or Enterprise. Or
We
Shran.
would we
We
would
don't know
probably
that.
just have
We
better
might have still
shows
had them, but different.
instead.
Would we have had Sub Rosa? Because that would be a major loss.
So,
Was
I have a
Sub Rosa
question.
Berman's fault?
I don't
It might have. I'll check memory. Time to dial up memory alpha.
if I recall correctly, Frakes actually won.
Well, he might have directed, but did he write it? Who wrote it?
Mm.
I don't know if Rick Berman wrote anything. I thought he just produced. It's written by Brandon Braga, surprisingly.
Brandon, you're
Or
supposed to be good at this. What are you doing, man?
well, I don't know. Well, he wrote the teleplay. The story was by Jerry Taylor, who in turn based it off of
A romance novel.
yeah, well, not a romance novel.
Is she pregnant here or what?
Did you know that the person actually who submitted the idea for Sub Rosa also submitted the idea for Distant Origin?
Did
Well, the
you
actress
know?
well, the actress actually was pregnant during the mid and beginning part of season 4.
Ooh, B'Elanna?
Yeah, the actress for her.
Is that with Damar? Or is Damar later? I know she marries Damar at some point.
Who's that again?
Casey Biggs? Roxanne Biggs Dawson?
Oh my god, she's related to Yar.
The Phoenix. The Borg were present during those
Fine.
events. It's a long
Rick
story.
Berman appears to be completely disconnected from Sub Rosa.
Okay, so yeah, we can wipe out Rick Berman. Nothing of value lost.
Yeah. Unless he
What do you
maybe
mean,
like
like
greenlit the
T'Pol,
episode.
7 of 9, and her cat
No.
suits?
We could still have the characters. We can just wipe out the creepy bits.
Yeah, like
But
Body and Soul.
oh, body
Okay,
and
but Body
soul.
and Soul was quite a thing. Wait, was that the one where the doctor took over
The
her
doctor
body?
goes inside of yes.
Okay, concerning implications, yes, but it was also some fantastic acting that was very entertaining to watch.
And my one concern is that if we wipe out Rick Berman, that would have meant that like during this era, Star Trek would have been produced by someone much more competent who maybe wouldn't have greenlit Sub Rosa as an episode.
Sub Rosa's so good though.
In a bad way. You're not Nana.
Nana's
Nana's
dead,
dead.
and then she becomes a Sith Lord. Oh no, she
The
became a
Sith
Sith Lord just
Lord.
before that.
Yeah, she has Force Lightning.
Anyway, Star Trek Voyager, what's happening on the show? Honeycomb?
I'll check away.
Bulkheads?
I really don't like how that display is flickering because it's not like it's flickering on and off, like it's a real display. It's just like it's getting dimmer because they're just, flipping a light on and off that's behind some
Like
plexiglass with a
like a
pattern on it.
it's like a Burger King display board.
Sure, that is actually extremely accurate. I'm just imagining like every single screen basically on the show is just like it could have just been like a display for fries and onion rings in another life.
Well, you can just see the matte painting. It's well matched, but you can
Mhm.
just see it.
And behind as well.
So are the Krenim weapons that like delete things like from time? As if you put one of those on like a torpedo, would that make it a time bomb?
Why are you the way that you are?
I feel like this totally counts as a time bomb if it's a chronoton warhead.
Yeah. Oh, did you know that you can kill the prophets with chronotons?
Yeah. Yeah, but only if you're like really freaking like aggressive and linear.
So is anybody going to mention in the show that Kess warned them about this and gave them the torpedo frequency? Is anyone going to bring it up?
Yeah, like our one bit of knowledge about the future.
And it just
I
happened. It
forgot
was like
they.
4 episodes ago.
That's right. Yeah, they foreshadowed this.
Mm-hmm. Like there should
Should
be
have.
a moment where Janeway brings out like a bunch of pads that were locked up in a safe. She says, "Okay, study these."
Yeah, like these are Tess's prophecies.
But Cass regressed further back than that, and the timeline changed. Like the timeline she was brought back to didn't include her giving them that information. I don't think, or something like that.
No, I distinctly remember the end of the episode ending with a different hairstyle and her saying, "I'm going to record everything I learned."
Hmm. Is that when they tried to give her like more more sexy hair for a while instead of the pixie cut? They gave her like a Farrah Fawcett thing.
It was because the actress might have been allergic to spirit gum.
And you murdered them, Doctor.
What I really like about these watching scenes like this on the watch along is I remember, like when you're watching the show normally, these have a pretty substantive emotional weight to them. But now I'm
Yeah,
just
not
like,
here.
yeah. Now I'm
This
just
is
like, what
like
did the
playing a
doctor
horror
eat for
game in a
breakfast?
fully lit room with your drunk friends around.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. It's not. It doesn't work.
My stupid time bomb pun has instantly destroyed all like intimidation that this whole torpedo thing can give.
No, 7. You already know the temporal variance. Kess sacrificed
Yeah,
herself to get it. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
I feel
7.
like he
Come
would have
on.
like they should have just like written it on a piece of like scotch tape and like taped it to the side of the tricorder just
It would
for
have been really like kind of messed up.
Is the variance the same? Check to see if the variance is the same or if it's different.
There's no way
I
it's
seem
the
to
same.
recall I seem to recall it being 1.61 or 1.62,
They forgot
and
they
now it's
wrote that episode.
1.47.
There's no way it's the same.
Mm-mm.
Well, they forget they wrote that episode when they have a scene that's the exact same set.
In the exact same weapon,
everyone
I
has
think.
to eat Neelix's cooking.
We lost
Could
3
we
people to
wipe out Neelix with
dysentery
the
due to his
weapon?
cooking.
If we got rid of Rick Berman, would Neelix be less creepy in the first couple seasons?
Well, that means Ira Stephen Bear might have written him, and then he would have been more of a core character.
Okay, we know Janeway's birthday. Good. Everyone write it down. We'll
Yeah,
meet back here May 20th.
yeah. Have a little party.
You may not. So if you got rid of Rick Berman, season 3 and forward of Next Generation might be totally different. It may not be as good.
But
They
they,
might be
they
better.
probably would be better. 'Cause Rick
Don't you
Berman,
You
go
don't know
temporal
that.
prime directive on me. What if they grow up to be the next Adolf Hitler? They might be better. You don't know. Oh god, Chakotay's growing facial hair. Oh, I don't like it.
I don't know, I
sorry,
kind of do.
Chakotay, not everyone can grow the beard.
It's not. If it was a beard, that'd be fine. I don't like it when it's just the mustache.
Have you ever seen like people who have like a typical hairstyle and then it grows longer so it gets a little bit puffier?
Yeah, I have that right now. I need to cut it. It doesn't work.
I feel like that should be the norm for a ship like this.
This puffy hair?
Yeah, because they don't have the time or energy to like actually take care of themselves properly.
I forgot. Did we have? Do we know like what some of the other like pitches for Star Trek shows of this era would have been that sort of just got left on the cutting room floor, abandoned in development? Like I
For
know
individual
there was
episodes or whole series?
like whole series. Like I know there was the Phase 2 thing that got canned,
Mhm.
but I'm not
Planet
sure.
of the Titans,
Oh
Phase
yeah.
2.
Last
Was
parsec.
there supposed to be a Maquis series? I seem to vaguely recall
And then there was
Star
an
Trek Worf.
that too. And then there was going to be like an animated series about like the Federation in like the 34th century, where exploration died out because everyone learned everything.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just about like how Starfleet only has like maybe 10,000 people aboard, like
And
the
what do you do when you
organization.
run out of strange new worlds?
Exactly.
Go to another galaxy.
Well, that was the plot point. Like they get stuck in Andromeda,
Oh,
So
nice. That's
it's
kinda
Deflectors?
just
cool.
Voyager.
pretty much.
Deflectors? Wait, he said deflector there, not what? He's
Oh my
shifting
god, I forgot he's
pronunciation.
blind.
He is blind. Yeah, it's just.
Oh,
Oh God. Wait, does Seven sleep now, or did they move a regeneration band to this poor lady's bedroom?
or the other way
Hey,
around.
imagine like to save space, like they have to move people in the cargo bay, and so like you're just trying to take a nap in your sleeping bag, and like right next to you is like Seven of Nine sleeping, standing up, looking at you while you go to sleep.
Oh God, if we got rid of Rick Berman, would that get rid of this scene? How dare Neelix take on the role of a security officer? He
Can
doesn't
you imagine
belong
how
in
many
that uniform.
Among
Sorry,
Us,
intruders,
Among
what?
Us,
Intruders, what?
Among Us, it's Among Us, guys.
Neelix, you're not allowed to say that.
There is an intruder among us.
I could see a mod including that.
When the Voyager is sus.
We do have multiple episodes, especially in TNG, of having an imposter among us.
Among Us.
Let's see, season 2, that was with the diplomats, the fish guys.
Shape-shifting
McDuff.
dog.
Yep,
Oh yeah,
shapeshifting dog.
The one where the one with Party Picard.
God, TNG loved that plotline.
Yeah.
The dog episode was a ripoff of John Carpenter's The Thing.
I think it was a ripoff of the popular hit video game Among Us.
Among Us. I was riding my bike yesterday, like through the neighborhood, and I like passed a group of like teenagers, and I waved at them, and one of them just looked at me, and they just said like Fortnite, like you, like instead of hello.
Oh, that was some good shaking, Robert.
This is a true story.
oh god.
Prepare to die. Do you even have a view screen anymore, Janeway? Can they even call back?
I kind of like that part at the end of Star Trek Nemesis where the view screen is just completely ripped out of the ship. It's just a window.
Are you sure you're not thinking about Lower Decks when they have to like, for the season finale, rip out everything?
No, no, it's a Nemesis. Like people like the red shirts at the front get sucked out into space,
Hmm.
And the big evil
and so
ship pulls up and
just
Picard's like, he wants to look me in the eye.
yeah, and it's just like
And he
Picard
rams
looking
him.
up like a big hole in the wall.
You see, if Tom Hardy had just shot him, it would have been fine. I don't think we ever see counter indications. What's a counter indication?
I think it's just something that negatively affected them. Like, ah, yes,
The best part
counterindication.
is if
Their Krenim are
the
trash
shields were
again.
down right now, the ship would get repaired.
Yeah, it'd all be fine. A phenomenon?
Phenomenon of some kind? Some kind of phenomenon?
I don't like Chakotay's mustache. It's not working for me.
God bless Tim Russ.
It's a
That's such
tiny
a
little
cool
baby
effect.
ship now.
This is a really good premise for an episode.
Oh, apparently someone has used an app to give Chakotay a beard. Let me post that in the general chat. It's not quite as nautical as Riker's, though.
Mm.
Is the reason Chakotay or Robert Beltran was allowed to grow a mustache for this episode is because it's so dark you can hardly see it?
It's the Voyager.
Not Hop. It's just Voyager. There's no the.
It's the Voyager.
You can say Voyager, you can say the Starship Voyager, or the Federation Starship Voyager.
It's the Voyager.
You can say the USS Captain Janeway's battering ram.
The ISS Voyager.
The warship Voyager.
Or just Voyager.
Captain Janeway's 7-year experiment. Captain
A thr-
Janeway's big regret.
Captain Janeway's Funtime Variety Hour.
Maybe not
Somebody
so
is
fun time this
looping their
episode.
audio through. Captain Janeway's big regret.
Captain Variety.
Captain Variety?
I like these ideas. I like how that one guy sounds. A wonderful voice.
Janeway's Borg Smorgasborg.
Star Trek Village and Pillage.
What planet? There's no Garen or Homeworld. What are you talking about? Yep. So, that's a little bit of genocide just to try to bring your wife back. It's a little sketchy. Generally frowned upon.
I mean, he's just a futuristic version of Olga of Kiev.
Captain Ahab here and his ship with the damned.
It's not murder if they never existed.
I don't know if it feels like murder.
Stay stupid.
Hmm.
What if we just wipe out every species except for the Krenim?
How'd they get there so fast?
Time travel.
The temporal stuff, don't worry about it.
Temporal, yeah. Time, chronoton particle, tachyon, deflector dish,
They used the warp particles.
EPS systems,
So I know this sounds kind of weird, but wouldn't this weapon actually be better for R&D research?
life, photonic life forms, microbrains.
Because they're immune to the effects of time, so they could theoretically spend eons perfecting weaponry and science, and then time travel back to the beginning.
But you can just do that with regular time travel, which Starfleet can do.
Hmm. They say they don't, but they do it all the time.
And they use it for dumb things like getting whales.
You know, the Krenim should have just used what they should have done. They should have blown up the caretaker array with the time gun.
Honestly, if they just said, hey, there's this thing that's been kidnapping Alpha Quadrant species, can you just nuke it for us and we'll never show up?
Yeah, the caretaker did nothing good for anyone. Like, not even the Ocampa. The whole reason the caretaker's the caretakers. The caretaker,
What do you mean?
you
He
know,
extended their lifespan by a few years before they all,
No, 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 no.
starve and
You
die.
don't understand. It's canonical that the Nacine, the caretaker species, actually like depleted their ozone layer by
Oh yeah,
accident.
it screwed him over hard.
yeah, they
But
turned them
then
all into Tatooine.
but he gave him some energy, so it's all good.
Yeah, he trapped them underground, starved to death.
Became goldfish people.
Harry, why even bother saying some kind of weapon?
It's obviously a weapon of some kind.
Do you want to do something about this, or are you just gonna hang out?
Extreme.
What's a transverse bulkhead?
They
I don't-
explained this. What we
They
were
explained it during the
talking
episode, dude.
about Rick
Oh, I
Rubin,
wasn't listening.
the race from the time stream.
It's that honeycombing that they were mentioning earlier that we're
Oh,
using,
okay.
which means Cardassians can't breathe.
Why don't they do that more?
So Voyager, clearly they can't sustain warp. The ship's ripping itself apart. So can't the Krenim just like follow them? Voyager's gonna drop out of warp pretty soon.
Family.
Isn't it incredibly toxic to conflate work
She
with family?
she orders people to die all the time.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to pass the command officer's test.
What about Tuvix?
No, the thing is, she's already ordered everybody to die who she didn't like. Only the cool people are left.
Oh yes, surrogate daughter and pet project are still alive.
Well, we still have Neelix, so she's saving him for a rainy occasion. Rainy day,
He's
special occasion.
rations. You
Is
know,
this the whole crew?
I think so. I think Voyager would actually make a pretty good series if it just turned out to be like a flotilla of alien ships that they have to keep together.
So Battlestar Galactica.
Pretty much.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, but with less of the weird angel stuff
Hmm.
and the hallucinations.
The Red Angel,
Oh God.
the signals. Were they called signals or were they like beacons?
They were
Yeah,
like-
I think there were signals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me queue up. I clicked on the wrong button. I have to find it again.
Hey guys, we're getting
1
just
minute.
in from across the galaxy. We're seeing a phenomenon on the other side of the galaxy in real
A
time.
phenomenon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's a red
yeah.
it's a red angel. It's a red signal. It's now instantaneously as it's happening across the
Yeah.
galaxy.
Look, dude, Star Trek has never understood how space works.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They've tried harder.
Like, remember in Star Trek 2009 when they say they're interdicted
Oh, yeah,
when they're
but
trying to
Star
warp
Trek
back to Earth or
2009
pulled out
is
of warp?
Star Trek at its best when it's trying to be scientifically accurate.
And they're like, oh, we're still so far from Earth, Starfleet can't help us, and they're pulled out of warp and they're just next to the moon. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, if you were warping any longer, you would have crashed. You can't get any closer. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
There should be like a. It would be completely impossible to do, but I wish we could do like a TOS Spider Verse.
The TOS what?
Like a TOS Spider Verse with the '60s crew and the Strange New Worlds crew and the 2009 crew and the animated crew. I have no idea how that would work. It would be completely impossible, but that.
Well,
I'm sure-
several of those people are dead, so...
Yeah. Maybe one of
Who's
just-
left on TOS? Is it just Shatner, or is who
Sulu, isn't he?
Sulu's still
That's
alive?
Shatner, Sulu,
Chekhov.
Pavel.
So yeah, we've got George Takei, William Shatner, and
That's
what's his
Walter
name?
Koenig.
Walter Koenig, yeah. Koenig?
Or as William...
Painting.
I think it's Koenig.
All right, well,
The
then,
gentleman who plays Sulu.
and one with just the different, like just the different Kirks.
William
We can have
Shatner,
that
Chris Pine, what's his face from the new show? I don't know the actor.
We can have that-
Spoilers, but yeah.
We can have that moment from a Penthane where it's just two Kirks fighting each other.
Or alternatively, just like a nutty professor type thing, where everyone's William Shatner.
Let's
He would
not...
love that.
That's actually the basis for a few anthology books in Star Trek where Q brings all the captains together so they can all drink in the same bar and talk about their craziest adventures.
I think that would be the only way to get William Shatner interested in Star Trek again. Is just everyone was him.
Dude, William Shatner will do anything.
Yes.
The man is all ego. If you offered him a new show, he would take it.
Mm-hmm.
Into the Shatnerverse.
Yeah.
He wrote several books about himself. About Captain Kirk.
Captain Kick.
I never read them, but my understanding is they're terrible.
You know what the problem is with these new Star Trek shows is that the stars don't have terribly inadvisable singing careers.
Oh god, there's a holodeck behind the view screen?
Is that what it looks like when it's turned off?
The view screen is a hologram.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't think they had like a whole stage area behind it. I mean, I guess it works.
Wouldn't albuterol just be better?
Sure, I don't know. What? You're not even technically an officer.
But he's just thinking, well, if enough people die, then I get to be captain.
Mhm.
God, how long until we get emergency command hologram? Is that season 6?
7, I think.
Season 7?
I
Jeez.
cannot believe the emergency command hologram actually happened.
It was so good, though.
Yeah.
The dramatic zoom in, the pips all appearing one at a time, it's just
Yeah.
flawless.
Honestly, it's exactly how I would imagine myself in that situation.
Why doesn't Voyager just use the photonic cannon against the Krenim? Yeah. I mean, there is also the part where the Doctor like confesses his love for everybody and he draws Seven naked and it's a whole thing. But the
Mhm.
pips, the ECH part, solid.
I'm very glad that Star Trek. I don't know, but I guess I don't know if I'm necessarily glad it's happened, but I mean, the holodeck isn't really a technology that's in any other media like it is in Star Trek. So I'm really glad they just have decided to do like 20 holodeck episodes.
Yeah, because TOS, whenever they want to do a holodeck episode, they just invented a planet that was just, it's Earth, but they're Romans.
Or they went on shore leave and
There
the
was an
doc
episode called Shore Leave.
yeah.
So
That's the
all
episode
the
where
later
like they
Star
need to
Treks
like.
had the same episodes, but they made them non-canon within the universe because they're crazy.
That's the episode where they had to take Scotty to the sex planet so he stops being such like sexually frustrated misogynist. And
No,
then he
no,
like
no, that's Wolf in the Fold, where
Is
he's
that the one
accused
where
of like
he's Jack the
stabbing,
Ripper?
allegedly.
I don't remember anything about that episode, but I read someone arguing about it online. Like they said it was unclear whether Scotty actually killed someone or not.
I would love the idea that he actually did like because the motivation because they like in the episode like the 1960s like psychologist asserted that Scotty murdering that woman was just because he was like becoming an incel, and if he and if he actually just did murder someone and get away with it and was an incel and that's canon, oh boy, that would be fantastic.
It'd be very on brand.
So this scene was actually stolen from Netflix for their She-Ra series.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking the set was stolen from Deep Space Nine, but they just they just copied this wholesale.
They stole like the entire idea where like the big bad guy's like, yes, every dish that you're eating is the last remnants of an empire that I've conquered.
Oh.
If you blew up Earth, they'd be like just drinking root beer right now.
That are eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's like
This
the
corn dog
greatest.
is the last remnants of a great civilization.
Root beer, baseball, darts.
Isn't it fun how every description of Earth is just a description of the United States?
USA, USA, the only part of Earth that matters.
American exceptionalism at its best.
Yeah, man.
Hey, if you want to get to the moon, you should have studied harder.
Yeah. United States can't hear you guys from the moon.
I don't like it. Bring him back. This tastes terrible.
I want to complain to the chef.
I talked to the manager.
So is the food like expired? How long has it been here?
Well, I think they flat out said
It's
that they're
outside of time.
yeah, they're outside of time.
That doesn't make sense,
So
because time
No,
is
it doesn't.
clearly
your groceries
progressing
never
within
spoil.
the ship, though. So surely everything within the ship is aging just in their own reference frame.
Maybe some parts of the ship are like more outside of time than others.
I think they just call that the fridge.
And then
No, that's the
yeah, they
episode
have like
Shattered.
Does this mean that we get Martha Hackett back to chew the scenery?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm concerned about the thing on the side of his head. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there.
it's perfectly natural. Or maybe it's just like a giant goose egg. I don't know.
I think they really did miss an opportunity by killing that character off because the Maquis were supposed to be a little bit more cunning and brutal.
Tom, hold on. I think I might want that kind of blood on my hands. Maybe just a little blood.
My character hasn't had enough cool moments. I need to kill someone.
How is Tom the moral good guy in this scene? How does that happen?
I don't know. Then again, one of these people are literally terrorists.
Look, Chakotay just
All
sort of
three of
goes
them are
along with
terrorists.
whatever people tell him to do.
One's a failed terrorist, the other one is an actual terrorist.
Is the failed one Anorax? Because, yeah, it doesn't seem like he's doing a good job. He sucks at his job.
Oh, wine, breadsticks, hard-boiled egg. These are some really shitty civilizations.
Does he? I mean, that wasn't... whatever. Anorax, you keep wiping out whole planets and making things worse for yourself. You're not...
You can't truly perceive time because you literally don't have it.
So I know this sounds rather strange, but do you, and forgive me for using like a really weird word to describe this here, do you think Anorax is grooming Chakotay to be a successor?
Chakotay
Maybe.
doesn't have like any interest in the Crinum's whole dealio, and so he'd probably just quit.
I wish I was without taste and not without sight.
Savage.
What is it?
Okay, it's liquid bread.
Mm-hmm. Just boiled rations.
No, beer is liquid bread.
Mm-hmm. God.
God, you can't just put black pepper in your beer and expect it to work out.
Unfortunately,
there's this
tastes irrelevant.
fantastic recipe I saw on the internet. That was like given to someone in a dream. I gotta find it now.
So, okay. Someone mentioned Rolaren. Rolaren could potentially have been in TNG, DS9, and Voyager if they really wanted to, because she left to join the Maquis. She
Yep.
could have been with Chakotay, and she could have been Kira for a couple seasons.
That was the intention.
She goes to join the Maquis. She goes with the Bajorans. She's Kira for a couple seasons, and she's like, you know what? No, the Bajorans aren't doing anything. They're cozying up to Starfleet. She leaves, goes joins Chakotay's group, ends up on Voyager. It
He
all
could have
worked
been
out.
the new Worf. Huh. It's kind of sad to see that this side of Seven will be wiped away. Like she's cattier.
But she doesn't have a cat suit. Well, I mean, she kind of does. She has a different suit.
The cat suit closet got like sucked into. It's on one of the decks that's like flooded with plasma.
How come Neelix gets a uniform but Seven doesn't?
I want to see Neelix in a cat suit.
Isn't his
Neelix already
outfit
looks
usually
like a
kind of like a
cat.
cat suit?
No, it kind of looked like a Ferengi like business suit.
They probably used some of his stuff from when he did it for played a Ferengi.
Or just delete the caretaker.
Ah, Chakotay, you were brought over real fast.
It took like 2 days. 2 hours, sorry.
Well, I mean, you give a guy who has no power the ability to be God, and he goes crazy with it. I'm sick and tired of Janeway second guessing my suggestions. The God.
8,000 civilizations all within 50 light years?
That's kind of nuts.
Well,
That's a lot.
well, I mean,
That's
well, how many civilizations were on Earth?
one, unless you count the dinosaurs.
2. 3 if you count the Megans.
But like here on Earth, we've been doing our look for interstellar civilizations, and I think we can confidently say there are approximately 0 within 50 light years of Earth. And so I feel like, if you did have 8,000 civilizations within 50 light years, that's roughly 8,000 times more than there actually are normally.
Chakotay, you know he's talking about genocide, right? And he's calling it miraculous? You get that?
Kote?
I mean, I totally get it. The Rilna are a bunch of bitches.
Were actual people who I murdered. Oh, no.
This is a silly question, but if like they're outside of time and can clearly interact with the rest of the universe, why couldn't they have just like given them their genome and destroy the real matter? Like that's got to be a win-win.
Like, they go on shore leave, roughly the same time that they destroy the alien.
Yeah, what you do is you take the genome from the real nar, blow up the real nar, then you just give the copy of the genome to like.
No, I was making a joke about them going on shore leave on their home planet.
Oh, well, we're actually doing approximately 10 times as well as we expected to, so I think we're going to be reaching Earth in no time.
But the odds are astronomical. Get it? Because they're in space?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think he is actually grooming him to be a successor.
But is Chakotay trying to play him too, or is he just evil now?
He's just doing his whole like Captain Ahab thing where it's like, look at my cool submarine. Look at my
That's
aperture
that,
window, my
that's
book
Captain Nemo for
collection.
you.
Now let me, now let me, oh yeah, you're right. Now let me play my pipe organ and smoke my cigar.
Erase cigars? Erasing civilizations is by no means a proper activity for a gentleman. Nonetheless.
Nonetheless, the deeds have been done.
So I was rewatching the short treks,
Yes.
and Q&A just became a lot more darker after you watch Ghost of Illyria.
Which one was Ghost of Illyria?
That's the one where everyone ends up drunk, like on polywater, but it's like a light virus.
Oh.
It's the one where Spock arms himself with knowledge.
Mhm. While you were studying the blade, I mean, I was studying the books while you were studying the phaser.
When you were studying the phaser, I was studying the cylinder.
Who's she talking to?
Rewind.
Voyager. Voyager is a person. Could we send the doctor to do this?
Yeah. Should, like,
I think if they had like an offhanded statement saying that the radiation would have fucked up was his mobile emitter, but not necessarily carbon-based life.
or they should have they should what they should have done is, like,
Oh.
introduce something like the emergency command hologram or, like, a Jason Statham hologram that can, you know, have to deal with all of the tough crap that they're working with in this situation.
Fascinating that the fire that burned her face off didn't hurt her wig.
Oh,
Oh, and her face is better. It's all fine. It's space medicine.
All you need
Wait,
is the dermal regenerator.
well, that, but like if like 200 years ago they can give you a drug that could grow back a kidney, this is nothing.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the technology in Star Trek regresses between like the original series and the movies and Next Generation and the mainline series and the
Because
All
they
we
keep
need is some
introducing
super
stuff that
blood.
completely ruins dramatic tension, so they have to just pretend it never existed.
I do think that if they just flat out said, "Hey, much of this medication was based off of biomimetic gel, and this is before I realized that you could turn it into an organic bomb."
Did you know that Khan's blood can cure death?
It's in the Kelvin
And
timeline.
there's tiny little handheld transporters that can transport you between starship systems.
Did you know that Borg nanoprobes also cure death?
but they only use it the one time to save the most annoying crew member.
And we all know that that tiny little transporter was only meant to send someone to an abstinence cult, which paradoxically was run by Goldacott.
Dude, what are you gonna do? Call the Admiral?
Yeah, I think that's actually her response. Oh God.
What are you gonna do about it, hologram? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Janeway. Tuvok doesn't need a security team to take you down, Kathy.
Okay, call me crazy, but I kind of wish Janeway just kind of lost it a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
In
like,
full
from hell's
ransom?
heart, I fuck you up.
Dude, come on. Doctor, who cares? Who's gonna court martial her?
Judge Tuvok, attorney at Space Law.
God, I could watch just an episode of Picardo and
Picardo, Star Trek Picardo, the new Star Trek series, only on Paramount Plus.
but seriously, like just Picardo and Mulgrew together for scenes, marvelous.
Picardo, I love it. Did you know Robert Picardo was going to play Clarence Bodiger or tried out to play Clarence Bodiger in RoboCop, the original RoboCop, the good RoboCop?
Really?
Yeah, could you imagine Robert Picardo as Clarence Bodiger?
Mm-mm. So I only remember like fragments of RoboCop, And I only
Oh,
remember
jeez.
so I only remember two things. One, the self-decapitation in RoboCop 2.
Cup 2, self-decapitation. Oh, the where he rips his helmet off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the remake, is he asked how much of him is still him, and they actually have to show him.
Yeah, it's just like a head and lungs and a hand,
Yeah.
a heart. Now, in the original RoboCop, they really didn't leave anything at
Mm.
all. There was just some really rudimentary organs to keep the what little
Very
brain tissue they
handsome woman.
used alive. So, and they were going to keep the arm in. If you all right, and there's a scene in the original RoboCop where he's coming in and out of consciousness while they're working on him, and they're just like, "Oh, we saved the arm," and the guy's like, "What do you mean you saved the arm? We agreed on a full body prosthesis. Lose the arm," and they're like, oh, "Man, you're horrible. You're a monster." Or they turn him back off, and then they turn him on, and he has a mechanical arm now.
Which is funny because in the remake, there's a scene like that, but it's the exact opposite.
They
Where,
intentionally keep the arm because they got to make it different from the original.
no, because the director said, we want to sell this thing, and I want people to shake a nice, warm human hand.
Well, see, the people who remade RoboCop didn't understand the original source material.
Mm-mm.
So of course they completely botched the remake. The original, you know, it's satire,
Oh, very
and
much.
also it's one of the few like perfect movies. It's like it's perfectly symmetrical. Um, it has this ridiculous premise and it has a ridiculous name, but it's actually a really good film.
You have My Little Catholic Heart beating a flutter with American Jesus allegory.
American Jesus, he walked on water.
Mm-hmm.
He came back from the dead. The original
And just like the real Jesus, he was made out of laminated titanium.
Kevlar laminated. So in the original edit, when he dies, there was actually like several minutes of just blackness, and they had to cut it down to like 20 or 30 seconds because people were getting up and leaving because they thought that was the end of the movie. And they're like, it's over.
It was originally going to be 3 days of blackness to really drive home the Jesus allegory.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want to know something really funny? A lot of props and actors from RoboCop 2 actually got recycled for TNG.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so the little kid who lost his mom in the bonding?
Yep. Yep.
He
That's
was
the.
a kid drug dealer.
Yeah.
And then Wesley actually has the game Nukem in his dorms.
That's funny.
Did you buy that for $1?
Which, considering Star Trek's lore about nuclear warfare,
So Chakotay just referred to Mr. Genocide as an enlightened man. The guy who just admitted a few minutes ago to wiping out billions of lives. That's
It's not murder if they never existed.
now here's the thing. I feel like Chakotay could be forgiven if this is literally just a really elaborate act because he didn't think Paris could fake it.
yeah, but it's not.
I
Chakotay's
know.
just
Totally gunning for genocide.
like
Fight,
we had a
fight,
version of
yes,
this in
fight, fight,
TNG with
fight,
Gambit when
fight,
Riker was
fight,
pretending to be a
fight.
space pirate. That was good. Chakotay's just killing people.
Mm-hmm. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good line. Just a shame it had to be attached to genocide.
So are those buttons on the front of the console? Does that mean like there has to be whenever someone uses that console, they have to like stand there. They have to like block the captain's view of the view screen and like make awkward eye contact with them.
Bye. So enlightened.
Hmm.
Oh, but see, now this one actually counts because Chakotay saw it in person.
Why is Paris the moral paragon?
I guess that time in beautiful New Zealand did him a world of good. It worked.
Dude, people have to come out of like Federation. Like, can you imagine the reform process in the future? Like, people come out of Federation prisons with like doctoral degrees and like cures for polio.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to keep that female changeling in a bucket.
He should know more than anybody that a single life is significant. He's doing all this to get his wife back.
Is this Cisco's office?
It does have a bit of a Terok Nor look.
This looks very Cardassian, that big round window behind the desk.
Hmm. And then the is that a window or an arch in the
It's a
center?
window.
Okay.
Is it a window or a wall? To the window.
Well, it depends on which half of the
Damn
screen you're
it.
talking
The
about.
wall.
No.
You beat me to it.
Seriously, look at that
Yeah,
window.
yeah, it is very Terok Nori.
This is just Captain Cisco's office redressed.
This is where Captain Cisco's desk went when it went missing.
Where's the baseball?
No wife, no life.
Just don't ask where it came from.
Yeah, because he was on the time ship when she was erased, right? So he couldn't, like, did he know she was gonna die and he cut off the hair preemptively? What happened?
That's just his tag lock for when he needs to do rituals.
You know, it would be really interesting if they showed like a pre like a weird marriage ceremony that they have that they specifically grow out hair to exchange.
I don't think that's gonna work for Anorax.
I know.
Bald people don't deserve love.
It could explain why everyone's treating him like shit and actually threatening mutiny.
That's why Captain Picard never has a real love life. He does not have a lock to give.
I mean that what was she called? An archaeologist?
Vash? She had
Mm-hmm.
many locks to give.
The one time Picard got nasty was when they sent him back in time and gave him his hair back.
And that was, questionable.
What
Mhm.
civilization does Picard have to erase to get his hair back?
He erases a lot of civilizations. No, sorry, he doesn't erase any civilizations. He just stands back and lets other people erase them. Because it's not his problem.
No, no, no. What he
Prime
does is that
Directive.
he waits for the planet to nearly die and then just watches it destroy itself, even though they're begging for help.
He just has Worf do it for him.
No, Worf gives the correct suggestion initially and then ignores him and then does it at the end.
Worf needs to start using reverse psychology. If he's like, Captain, I recommend lowering our shields and maintaining diplomatic channels. Then, Captain Picard will fire.
Captain
Mhm.
Picard, I recommend we don't explode the aliens. He's like, well, then the aliens must go boom.
Why do I feel like Chakotay's gonna rat him out? I feel like he's either going to betray Paris, or he's gonna do that Odo thing where he gets half of the job to disable alarms and stuff, and he just doesn't.
I can feel it through the force.
I mean, granted, he was turned into a salamander with her.
Well, not Chakotay.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about
Chakotay
Paris.
wishes he could have been a salamander.
Head empty, no thoughts, just nutrients.
Wait, hang on. If those are the Nihydran and the Mawasi, why are they using the same ships as the Zal?
Because maybe they stole it from a dead civilization, or maybe the
Maybe
Zal stole
they
it from
maybe
them.
they did the Enterprise incident thing. Where they switch swatch designs,
Ah, yes.
so you don't have to build new models. You think their new allies maybe could have given them like hospital treatment and like new light bulbs and maybe a couple of like maids to clean up the ship or like Roombas.
Yeah, like a weird, like bumpy forehead alien just in the background fixing something would be really nice about now.
Yeah, like a bumpy headed forehead alien is like sort of watching this, but he's also just like sweeping stuff into a bucket.
Tuvok, Seven, work on the ship. Neelix, stay nearby in case I need a punching bag.
You like stand in that corner and face the wall. It's critical that that wall not move for our mission to succeed.
No, there's not, Janeway. Wow, 6 torpedoes. Not to worry, she is still flying half a ship.
Did I ever tell you guys about why Janeway scares me on a actual instinctual level?
Because she murders her crew over and over again?
No, because when I was about 7 years old, I was introduced to a video game called Dragon Age Origins.
I
Yeah.
remember Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, and she's
My
a witch.
character was a shapeshifter, and I played it on the Xbox, and the Xbox had a glitch where if you turned into an animal, and turned back into a person, it wouldn't render parts of your player model. And so, like, I remember, and this would work in cutscenes too. And I remember there was this point where, like, you see like this big cool army that's about to attack you, and then like cuts to my character who just looks like he's just sucked his head into his body like a turtle.
So I'm
Sorry.
aware Janeway plays a witch, but I don't know what she does. Why is she horror? Existential horror.
Because the witch would regularly sacrifice her own daughter's body so that way she could survive in them.
Oh yeah, very Janeway.
JJ, who did you have give birth to the dark god?
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Nobody.
decided to go the Giga Chad route and just kill it myself. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How come in all these alternate timeline episodes, it's always Tuvok that is the one that suffers? He goes blind here. He gets Vulcan dementia later. What's the
Mm-hmm.
deal?
Tuvok must suffer.
What did Tuvok ever do? He was boiled alive one time.
I have a crazy theory that if you wear a yellow shirt, the gods want you to suffer. First it's O'Brien, Tuvok,
Wait, which gods? The
Kirk,
prophets, the Greek gods, Q.
Apollo.
Nagilum.
Is Nagilum a god? He's just like a big space baby.
Nagilum is definitely a god.
Isn't he like don't they use like a monkey face for him?
I don't remember. It's hard to tell because monkeys and babies look exactly the same.
It's like a monkey face that they superimpose like human lips on something.
Please demonstrate this.
I'll post it in general, and then I'll probably get auto flagged for it being not
Probably.
safe for work or something.
So if there are victims of Q encounters and they all meet in the same place, would they be called QAnon?
Oh gosh.
And Nagilum doesn't look like a monkey to me.
Now you just made me think about like how Q's in like Picard and he exists in the 21st century, which just made me think that like Q is Q and Q's like been like alt-right red pilled, which is just disturbing.
When Q was stranded in the 21st century, he needed to gain currency to achieve his goals. He took up a career in acting.
I thought we were talking about how Q like used like got on 4chan.
Nope, just
I
John
mean,
Delancey.
yeah, let's see. Yeah, he emotionally manipulated a genetic augment freak of nature.
I mean, rude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't trust things that are made in a lab.
What did she? God, what was her name? Corey. What did Corey ever do to you?
Oh, absolutely
It's
nothing. I
not
just don't.
her
I
fault
do
she
not
was made
trust
in a
that.
lab.
It's not, but I just do not trust it.
It? What do you mean it? When our augment overlords get here in the 90s, they're gonna take umbrage with that statement.
I think they actually got here in the 80s.
Well, destroyed isn't exactly the right word. They never existed, so it's okay, right? Robo?
I mean,
That's right. That's what
destroy.
we've been saying.
I mean, defeat, genocide, why
Why
squabble
don't they
over
have? Why don't
semantics?
they have the shielding? Why don't they have a temporal shielding?
They do,
They're
they
talking
just are
about
trash.
nuclear vessels.
Nuclear vessels.
Bye,
It's over.
Chakotay. Bye, Tom.
He already
Oprah's
did.
just shoot him.
Everything is proceeding exactly
According to my designs.
We really needed more the crew is not themselves episodes.
Do
Among
we?
Us.
Like either make them 100 times more ruthless, make them mirror universe, uh,
Mirror
have,
universe with Dread Pirate Neelix.
let's see, an episode where it turns out the Maquis had most of their crew survive and the Voyager crew were outnumbered.
Have we had the Equinox yet? I forgot.
No.
Not until season
Yeah,
5.
yeah. It's kind of impressive that they made it that far, even with the alien sacrifice.
Except they say the alien tech increased their speed by like 0.1% per alien.
Yeah, and they said they would have to kill like 123 to get home.
Ooh, it's pretty fatalistic.
You don't need launchers,
Prepare
you
for
are the
ramming
launcher.
speed. Today is a good day to die.
Oh, how is she not suffocating if...
There's a force field, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a TV show. I should really just relax.
Payne, wait, okay.
Ooh.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why ramming things with metal is more effective than antimatter detonations.
Oh, here's the thing. You remember that Call of Duty game where it was just cylinders falling to Earth?
No, what? Which game was this?
Call of Duty
Cylinders?
Ghost,
Yeah.
the one where
Oh.
South America takes like all of South America teams up to take over the U.S. of A. And you get the dog.
I think so, but the weapon was just literally just carbon or cobalt spheres that were dropped at suborbit, and the kinetic energy was comparable to that of like 10 nuclear bombs.
I hated that thing because what like you need a what would have been way more straightforward is just like you
Okay,
need to
okay,
expend a certain amount of
sorry.
energy
Okay,
to like
sorry. Let me come up with a better analogy. So if the Flash punched you at light speed,
like look, if you needed like those tungsten rods needed to get up there somehow. So what you would be doing is you would be making the rods and then you would be loading them onto a rocket, carries as much energy as the rod would basically if you dropped it, um, to carry the rod into space when you could have just like launched a missile at someone. It would have been a lot more straightforward.
okay, so the analogy is like if you have something moving at infinite velocity in excess of the speed of light, the energy would be astronomical, no pun intended.
Space!
Also, did they
Wait, we've
just
seen her
actually
before.
didn't they actually respect someone's borders for once?
This
Yeah,
isn't my
apparently.
Star Trek. Going around someone's space?
Oh, that's actually kind of nice. It looks like he might have actually have been just an archaeologist before his time shenanigans.
Before the
If you,
genocide?
yeah, I mean, if you look at that thing above his head, it looks like something that might have belonged to a temple of some sort. And oh God, it's a time loop.
So, yeah, is this all just gonna happen again, or...
Maybe in this timeline he just got so much sex he was too busy to invent his time machine.
That doesn't sound right.
And
Okay,
this
what
one he
does
was
sound right is the
seduced by
fact
a
that the
woman
next
and
episode is
dedicate
Random
himself to the
Thoughts.
grind.
Oh, I have a question. Is this actually how Betazoids should have actually reacted to shit?
Is what? Wiping things out of the timeline? What?
No, no, no. Random thoughts. Like if they literally can hear
Oh,
your thoughts when they actually have a thought police.
I mean, I guess they would, except the Betazoids are like new age free love type species.
But like, what if I'm intentionally thinking thoughts that are meant to cause distress and harm towards others?
I mean, I guess they just have the same rules that against hate speech, but they're hate thoughts. So yeah, I guess.
This is just making me think about the Wesley Crusher flowerbed death planet.
God damn it. That boy can't catch a
Press
break, can
play in
he?
5,
Oh,
4,
Wesley,
3,
you lovable
2,
scamp.
1, play.
Isn't it weird how both Crushers fell in love with people who weren't what they say they were?
Well, it makes
That's
more
just
sense
Star
if you think
Trek.
about how most of it was just that one alien.
The weirdest part of the Justice Planet to me was the fact that they implied, like, oh, yes, Wesley, go hang out with the other kids so you can all have sex together.
Yeah, I
And
was
Wesley
getting that
goes,
vibe too.
he
In the
goes, oh, there are
future, they
some games I
sand the
don't know how to play yet.
in the future
What?
they sand the corners off of their packages.
Quit sniffing your coworkers. Who the heck's Tally?
He's
Oh,
a she's a 4-year-old.
oh God, he has a type.
This is listen, okay? Nothing good comes of being involved with Neelix, and this just goes to prove it, okay?
Is Tally like a small child in this alien planet, or
No, she's an adult, but
also how long have they been here? How long do they hang out?
Maybe like from what I'm hearing, like enough time to actually start bartering.
No, that's terrible advice for Neelix.
Is.
No, be someone else.
Anybody
Be
else?
Tuvok. No, don't be Tuvok.
Oh,
No, be
eh, I
Kirk.
have an important announcement, everybody.
Hmm?
Louise Fletcher,
Oh, yeah.
otherwise
Yep.
known as Kai Wynn, has died.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But is she with the
And
prophets?
Nurse Ratchet, eh? No, she's not with the Prophets. And she's not with the pod race either. Nobody wants her.
We love Louise
Hey,
Fletcher.
Louise Fletcher was did a wonderful job.
Louise Fletcher was
Yes, she
great, dude.
definitely got us to hate her. Yes.
Yeah, you shouldn't give her flack for
For being
creating.
too good at her job.
Yeah,
So wouldn't
It's true.
wouldn't
It's
be
true.
banished from so that actually does bring up a really interesting metaphysical point. If you die and then you learn an afterlife exists, but then you're barred from it, would that actually be hell? Like psychologically speaking.
what if you don't get Neelix
Yeah.
and we just leave Neelix here where he can do his
May-
weird thing?
Maybe you should
So
watch the TV show The Good Place.
wait, hold on. Was that just money that they were using?
Well, this isn't the Federation. No, God, Neelix, get out of here.
This is the second worst piece of
Whoa.
information about an alien species I learned about.
He doesn't even have whiskers.
Those things
Yeah,
on the
he does.
side of
Yeah.
his face.
It's
Yeah.
mutton chops.
Mutton chops aren't whiskers.
She's like, yeah, I'll do that weird kinky thing you want. Just let me close up shop here.
Oh my
Why
god,
she
they're just
play?
betazoids. They are literally just betazoids.
They should know that's a red flag.
They don't
Oh, yeah.
download cars anymore.
Uh, th- This should be like official Starfleet procedure. Any planet that has eliminated crime is highly sus.
Doesn't Earth have no crime though?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the track record for planets having no crime is very, very bad.
I mean, just look at Harry Mudd.
There's a reason we don't really see Earth that much. Anytime
So
we see
here-
Earth, it's in highly secured Federation facilities.
Honestly, oh,
I thought Vulcans weren't full telepath.
they were touch telepathic.
No, it's an,
Neelix. I almost, I was almost starting to like you.
It would have been actually something really interesting if it was established later in the episode that yes, Bolana did in fact want to like cuss him out, but like that was it. This is just him being messed up in the head. Like he got like a bad hit of memory. I don't know.
Wait, if
he caught some bad vibes.
thinking, if thinking like violent thoughts around these people makes them violent, does that mean like
No,
when
don't-
Neelix thought about
don't
that
do
woman
it.
tugging on
Don't do it.
with
Ew.
No.
Wait, you're saying just thinking about stuff will compel them to go
No.
through with it?
No.
Oh, oh man.
Rick Berman, it's you again. Buddy Rick. He always
I
works
can
his
see
way
that
in
being
there.
either very conducive to a society or
An
negative.
absolute
Berman.
disaster.
Rick Berman works in mysterious ways.
Because you can easily just build a society and then institute a pogrom like 20 seconds later.
I wish we could kill Rick Berman for his thoughts.
Star Trek's a weird show.
Well, yeah.
So, the new engineer for Strange New Worlds, any thoughts so far?
About
just
what?
Any
can't get
what?
over how she was like her character in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It'd be hard to unsee that.
Oh, that lady.
I like to make one complaint about Discord, and that complaint is you can't have a separate device for the voice communication output and screen sharing stream output within Discord.
Well, maybe you should queue up your own copy of the episode. You can adjust your audio all you want.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? We're not.
'Cause,
There's the only thing
yeah.
here is a countdown, is a timing, a timestamp here, Ryan.
But yeah,
What are you talking
the
about?
time counting is very loud sometimes. So what if you want to adjust it?
For those of you who are watching on the stream, actually, like every time there's a second, we just hear like this ear splitting beep.
Wait, your ears aren't bleeding?
Why do you think so few people regularly join the voice chat?
Because it's Voyager.
Shh. I grew up on
It's
Voyager. Shut the fuck up.
I like how the viewership numbers directly correlate to how good a series is. You can tell exactly what people think about each one. TNG,
So I want.
like season 4 and 5, high viewership. DS9 started low, then got higher. Voyager tanked completely. It's gone. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But these, I feel like these are the ones that are more conducive to watch-alongs.
What, Neelix's whiskers? That's what you want to see?
He's like, we still gotta go. We still gotta go. You gotta tug on my whiskers. Let's go. Let's go.
Bystander effect, which does exist, but the Kitty Geneviese's case doesn't count.
This is why you never say, somebody call the police. You point at someone and say, you call the police.
Correct. It's why even in hospitals they literally have a task for someone. Theater.
I like that
I do.
stand that seemed just next to him that just seemed to be selling like glass tubes in old bottles.
Why is there a murder chair?
We've
Even
seen this
Janeway
chair a
can-
bunch of times. We've
Wait,
seen
isn't
this prop. They used it on
Jordy with
what
the Romulan.
Alice's ship, and maybe
This looks like
yeah, the
something
Romulan
that would torture
thing.
O'Brien.
Yeah, I think isn't that the chair that they used to take out one of his wisdom teeth?
What are the command codes to Voyager?
Honestly, that would actually be really funny if they were just using this as a plot to steal information from aliens.
They're just actors in the market square. That'd work.
Like none of them are actually telepathic.
Oh, they're doing this thing again. They switch actors between questions.
What was the episode where they
Actor
really
switch?
did use it?
That,
Like, really well. It was a DS9 episode. It was a court trial about Worf killing people.
Oh, yeah, they did that. There was also... God, what was it? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Firefly, where the
Oh,
Alliance
yeah.
was
They
questioning
did
them.
that with her legs.
Also, the finale of Enterprise. They did that with Riker and the crew.
Didn't they also do that in the fake time traveler episode in TNG?
Just thinking, what's that matter?
No, I'm surprised that they can actually like read her mind through that sick skull of hers.
It may be incriminating.
She mentioned it. She doesn't use money.
Not used to handling currency.
Yeah, so if they
Like
don't
some
have
sort of
money
primitive.
and they don't have something to drive them, what's stopping them from just doing all the drugs and dying? Because
Ah, Rick Berman, get out of here. Nobody likes you, Rick.
but like what's stopping people from just drugging themselves into oblivion on Earth?
Because in the future, nobody would want to.
I mean, it's not like addiction is, based purely in instinctual pleasure centers in the human brain. It's not like addiction's been shown in Star Trek before.
Also, I don't believe Balana here. She has assaulted multiple people.
Oh, multiple people. Like, even her own crewmen.
Gosh, lady, calm down.
This is the third flashback we've had of this same shot.
I have a question. Do you think this is actually like an actual trauma response? Like she responds to everything as a potential like attack because she was in the Maquis?
Yeah. Yes. And not just because she was in the Maquis, because she's been defensive her whole life because even as a child she was bullied.
So this is not necessarily an aggressive behavior. This is more like a dog being backed up in a corner situation.
Suppose.
Like this is very much I don't know, a maladaptive position for trauma. And they really need a psychologist on starships.
Was Voyager supposed to have a counselor and they just died? Or did they launch with that one?
Caretaker sucked them over, or like they weren't aboard when they were at DS9.
I think I remember reading like how like there's those Star Trek fan made documentaries about Star Trek going all the way over from like the pilot to the Kelvin timeline movies. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Like the one that Ryan got his mug from.
Yes, yes, yes. I think I remember someone mentioning earlier that Chakotay was actually supposed to be like a psychologist.
Okay. I have a plan to get the crew out of this
Just-
situation.
Just beam
Just
everybody
leave.
off the surface and leave.
Just
Yeah,
leave.
just leave. Oh no, don't you say that.
Just
Janeway,
think lots of
remember?
violent thought. Just like, just think really hard about having them let Balana go, and then they'll
Of
do it.
course. Janeway, remember a
what's that
couple
one-
episodes ago where you were saying because you had the bigger stick, you could do whatever you want? You've got a pretty big stick here. Just leave. What are they going to do about it?
Does anyone remember that Mass Effect scene where they hack a computer by just horn spamming the opponent?
What?
What? No. What?
What movie? Hold on, say that again.
Mass Effect. I can't remember. Like, there's a scene where like Joker just uploads like a terabyte worth of pornographic material into an enemy ship.
I have no memory of this.
I did not see
I don't-
that. I did
I
not
don't
play
know
Mass
the
Effect.
scene
To be
either.
honest.
I know this sounds weird, but what if they just think the most obscene things to get themselves off the planet?
Just to make everyone else so uncomfortable, they're like, just go. It's not worth
Let's
it.
go.
Just leave.
Just think,
Exactly.
think about Star Trek Voyager, and they're like, oh, wait, you guys did what? There are how many lizards?
4 of them?
No, beam up Balana and just leave. Yes, yes, you can.
Yeah,
You do it all the
you've done this
time.
many times.
I feel like
Oh, Neelix
the
is
Prime
going,
Directive only
Neelix
applies
is
to people that
on
Janeway
the
likes.
case, guys. Don't worry.
Can you trust Neelix to do any of that?
No.
You can trust him to procure drugs for you. That includes Torres. Now get her back.
It's just a chair, Tom. Don't worry about it.
It bites you. It's like the The Iron Throne, if you're not worthy, it hurts you.
Ah,
It cuts you.
I can't
Bites
believe
your
my
ass.
theory. I can't believe my theory about Viserys got disproved recently.
What was your theory about Viserys?
Okay, you've been watching House of the Dragon, right?
Of course.
So my theory about why he was literally rotting was diabetes.
Yeah. A lot of
Because
people said that.
yeah, but then like the showrunner said, no, it's leprosy. We're actually going to do a Baldwin the Fourth reference.
It's
Trogdor
whatever.
was a man.
So, you can make yourself worthy of the Iron Throne by wearing, like, thick jeans.
I'm just imagining Cowboy on the Iron Throne now. Yeehaw.
Or
He
put
was
down a
a
cushion.
dragon man.
Who cares about her conclusion? Just leave.
Like I would have said, hey, listen, we're going to remand our crewman aboard. And the second she beams up, she's like, okay, just go, 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 warp it.
I'm not looking. Maybe the reason they can't leave is they still need some stuff on the planet. Maybe they
Like
still
they
need to
said,
trade.
like what if they say,
Also,
hey,
isn't Tuvok's whole thing is he's thinking like violent thoughts all the time, and he just
Mhm.
represses them.
correct. I do like how this retroactively got like extra canonified, but just have Vulcans not rid themselves of emotion, but just be like really in control. Because in Strange New Worlds, Spock specifically loses his shit to go kill like a Gorn.
He let the demons out just this once.
Are you sure she's not a Cardassian? What's this about innocence before being proven guilty?
Oh my, clearly it didn't work, lady. Come on. This one person who has a long history of violent crime has committed a violent crime. It cannot be.
Can't they just like the attacker of this thing survived, right? Like, why can't they just scan his brain and ask him where he got the thoughts from?
Mm-hmm.
He can't lie because he's in the thinking chair.
Yeah. Like this is why I'm making
So,
the Cardassian reference because it's all about show trials, not necessarily truth.
not Cardassian, but does this woman sound familiar to you at all?
It does.
Yeah.
What was she in?
She's B'Etor. As in Lursa and B'Etor.
Huh?
Oh my god, yeah.
Wow.
Her, this woman?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. It's amazing what a rubber forehead can do.
Yeah.
she's not even wearing rubber in this episode. What's the point?
Where's the boob window? I don't recognize her without it.
I know, the boob window is the best thing.
Are you cosplaying as Rick again?
Yeah.
No. But I do have a soft spot for it because for a culture that's so hyper militaristic and obsessed with appearance, it would make sense. Even if it isn't like proper body armor.
Okay, so they're still shopping. So they're gonna
Mhm.
let Torres get lobotomized so they can buy some cans.
I know this sounds bad, but why don't they just steal it
They need their 24th century butt plugs, okay?
out of their fishnets?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they send in ships heavily armed to make first contact, 7.
Are you sure Jerry Ryan just didn't walk by the writer's room one day?
You know, Starfleet's Prime Directive and all the fan commentary around it, it reminds me of how everyone views like the Jedi Council from the prequels. It's like, yeah, nope, they're. It's very obvious why everyone goes dark side. It's a bad plan. It never works.
Oh my god, she's gonna. Oh no.
Yes, murder by old woman. Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Is it bad that I kind of wanted the blood to be a different color?
Might have been
Is
okay,
it
yeah.
bad? No.
But they ruined the dress.
I'm not a doctor, but I know that for sure, even though I don't know where I can take a pulse.
Well, I mean, they're just humans.
I know, but come on.
Hey guys,
Oh, hey.
They,
how's your hell?
Not as
it,
hellish as we were led to believe.
yeah,
It was pretty chill, really.
Yeah.
more like a year of chill.
I mean, granted, Chakotay was talked into committing genocide, but, shit
Year of
happens.
everything's great.
Yeah, because I didn't personally see it happen, so it didn't count.
In the TOS episode with the Horta, Spock says you can't kill the last Horta because it would be a crime against science. These people, the Krenin, they have the opposite thing where they just want to collect specimens and
Or
purposely.
Chata.
Like, I find it funny that the guy who boasts an alpha and beta canon is considered one of Starfleet's best anthropologists. Is totally like, yeah, genocide's all right. I mean, it's not like we have a terrible history of it.
Chakotay's one of the best anthropologists?
He's an anthropologist?
Really? I mean, I
In
know he
beta
is one,
canon,
but...
and in alpha and beta canon, it's established that he was arguably Starfleet's best xenoanthropologist.
Mm.
He doesn't do any anthropology on the whole show.
He does not, except for that one time where he says, these bodies are naked, which means they don't believe in material possessions.
Or maybe
That's not even
people
good
just like the clothes, so they
anthropology.
took them.
It's not, and he flat out said, hey, don't take photographs, which is what you do in anthropology. You just don't disturb the remains.
Anthropology is like a really cool field though. For some sociology classes, they rely on this guy named Emil Durkheim for like a lot of the like for example. Anyway,
Like, I wanted to be an archaeologist, but then I was thinking, what's the cutoff time or the, what's the legal term for a cutoff time for law?
Statute
What's,
of limitations.
yeah, what's the statute of limitations for grave robbing?
Probably
I
It's
don't
7
think
not...
that's
years.
I
how
don't
it
think it's
works.
time-based. I think it's whether the state is okay with it.
I
so
don't think grave
after like
robbing is I don't think the statute of limitations applies to like how old the grave is.
no, it does because here's the thing. Like somebody found a body in a bog, and at first you reported to the police, right? Because like, oh my god, we found a human body. But the police said that the body was too old to be like of criminal interest. Like whoever did it is like either 89 years old or like already dead. So there's no point in like opening up a criminal investigation. But
Oh,
yeah,
he's gonna mind melt. He's gonna do it. We were joking about this.
What if he does mind meld and he just becomes as angry as Balana?
Do you know that in the United States you can't own like human remains or body parts basically?
no, you
Um,
can't. You
like property rights don't really apply. So like if you were to like screwing with these things is like illegal usually because there's like you're involved like some other law like you if you wanted to like steal like someone's brain after they like
Mhm.
die that'd be like desecrating a grave or something or if you wanted to like steal someone's liver like that would be like assault but if so there's like a donor liver just like sitting out on a table like you could pick up with it and walk off with it and I don't think that would technically be a crime.
Yeah, I saw in the news someone kept their grandparents' body on your freezer because they wanted to collect their social security checks. You cannot be in possession of a body. You have to report it to the authorities, or we're going to put it in the ground if you cannot afford to.
If you cannot afford a grave, a court-appointed grave will be given to you.
There's something called Potter's Field here in New York City. It's just you get a little wooden box,
Mhm.
and it's a little island, and all the homeless people go there.
Oh no, in my neighborhood, we had a flood maybe 50 years ago,
Mhm.
and a lot of them couldn't be identified.
Mhm.
So we have like an entire like section that's just
Unmarked graves.
Mhm. And we're
Okay.
still actually giving people headstones.
Now we actually get some investigation. Tuvok investigations are some of my favorite parts of Voyager. It's been a while.
We're
He's
shut up.
actually going to do something. He's going to do his job. Do it, Tuvok. Except he's going to get weird about it this episode.
Tuvok is a scalpel when everyone else has been a hammer. It's weird.
God, he just looks like a villain, doesn't he?
And a creep. It's when you put that much gel in your hair, you just come off a little bit creepy.
What's this character's name?
Well,
Will.
Quill, like the writing implement.
Well, it's cute. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wayne Perry is the actor. Does he do anything else?
Quill's a feather. But yeah, the writing instrument.
Nope, just this.
Because
He
even
was
if you
in
don't,
Galaxy Quest, though.
it's still called a quill. A quill is just the French word for feather, as I learned very late in my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Aquila.
Yeah.
Romance language.
With the E.
Latin.
Yeah.
But Tuvok, are you a cop? You have to tell him if you are.
Yeah.
I kind of so in Star Wars, I feel like the villains are cooler, but in Star Trek, the heroes are cooler. But I will say, like, my guilty pleasure about Year of Hell is that, like, I kind of like the idea of drinking like the last brandy that a race made. Like, there's some perverse pleasure I would get it from it.
Well, you can do this at home by just making like really terrible, like contrived food that no one would ever make.
No. What you do is that you
And then-
find you go find the last monasteries.
Mhm.
You grab the last bottle of brandy, and then you burn down the monastery.
Or just kill bald eagles or something.
You just invent your own food that's so
Mhm.
complicated no one will ever invent it again. Then you eat
Galapagos
it,
turtle soup, man. That's
then
the.
you never make it again. There you go.
Wait, hold on. Did you hear about that forest guy who found like a Galapagos turtle?
Mm-mm.
No?
I'll pull up a video and put it on general.
Please do.
Okay. So, one
Star
thing you
Wars
could do if you
holiday
want to
special.
indulge that dark impulse, you could go and read the obituaries, find the person's house, and go, this is the last cup noodle of Jim. The last remnants.
I mean, that's just going to an estate sale, honestly.
It's true. That would solve the
Yeah.
problem because
Yeah, it works. It's fine.
I just love the guy's reaction because he's like, I found poop. It might be near. I'm so excited. And then he actually finds it and he shrieks like a little child.
It
So how
looks
much
like
do you
some
think a
kind
copy
of
of
turtle.
RoboCop is worth on this planet?
A Galapagos turtle.
God,
That's a common
Okay.
thing police say to.
The telepathy works over long distance here.
I think, here's the thing, Troy was able to say, I sense anger from the planet. So I think they're within maybe 100 feet at most.
Yeah. No, but this is Vulcan telepathy, which is not Betazoid telepathy.
I think Vulcan telepathy is like within
no.
arms.
Sarek can mind meld with humans across light years. It's fine.
I don't take anything
I
about
don't think.
Discovery.
No, I'm not gonna say that, but I'm gonna say
It wasn't
D-
Discovery that did it first. A different show did it first. I don't remember which one, but it was an old thing.
Doggy.
Troy did do it across light years. It was kind of ridiculous.
If they just said, "Hey, I just planted this in your head. If something happened to me, this is where I'd be."
Yeah. Like an Easter egg.
Or more like a Manchurian Candidate thing, which actually would have been like a really good call-in for like the Tyler situation.
But also on mind melts, in Star Trek 6, they just use it to like interrogate someone against their will, which like you
Oh
never
yeah,
yeah, that's just like mental violate.
I
Kim
think
Cattrall.
in TV tropes they actually call it like the mind word.
Remember in
Oh, it
Into
was Trippin'
Darkness
to
when like
Paul,
Captain
longest
Pike
mind meld. That's
explodes
what I was
and
thinking.
Spock just mind melds with him because why not when he's on his deathbed? It's kind of messed up.
I'm sorry, I missed that, everyone. But thank you, Ryan, for looking that up. What about the deathbed?
Well, in Into Darkness, like
Yeah.
Han blows up Captain Pike
Yeah.
and like Spock mind melds with him for some
Yeah.
reason
Yeah,
as he's
you're right.
dying.
Yeah,
He just Jean Grey'd himself.
you're right. There's no reason for that mind meld, really, right? I don't think it affects the plot in any way. He just does it because, like, hey, let me just intimately get to know you before you die.
Does anyone know where that reference came from?
Jean Grey,
Yeah.
X-Men.
I've
No,
been
no, no.
watching the X-Men cartoons because I need like something simple to look at like when I'm done with work, and I like it
And
because
they're only
it
23-minute
manages to be
episodes.
like completely stupid but also be like a really good um
Mm-hmm.
children's analogy for like McCarthyism and race.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was babysitting, there's this one TV show called uh, Iron Man Armored Adventures. It was very much geared towards children,
Mm-hmm.
but they had this kid named Annie Claremont who was a transfer student, and it was revealed that she was a mutant who could both read minds and move stuff with her mind. You all know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two things I love about that. One is like uh, when she says, "Oh yeah, I can read minds," people actually react with abject terror from that from that information.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because no one ever says, "Oh, they can read minds." Like you would just immediately start panicking after that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Janeway has a lot of gel in her hair. It's very coiffured up, coffered up. I don't know how to say it. Oh, so is this lady. She has a nice little tube in her hair.
Oh, did you know that she's mostly Klingon?
What if they have like a Mr. Rogers on board who just has like no violent thoughts? Would he be okay?
That would just be the Doctor. He doesn't have brain.
There you go, the
Thoughts at
doctor.
all.
But
Send the doctor.
the same doctor that held a man's hand in a fire until he did what he wanted?
Wow, that's pretty Inquisition-like. I was reading that in England when they were having the Reformation argument of like whether the king would be Catholic or the queen would be Protestant. One of the inquisitors held someone's finger in a candle until the vessels burst. But it's like, I'm gonna send you to the stake, but this is just what one finger feels like. But the next line in that history book was, so cruel is religious prejudice in human history.
I'm not gonna say what that ray looks like.
Yeah, no,
Like a
no.
number 2 pencil, obviously.
Yeah,
It-
it looks like
Yes.
a Rick Berman instrument.
Yeah, a pencil.
Because Rick Berman
'Cause he
wrote-
writes.
Yeah, he writes things.
It's very James Bond like though. We don't see that
Yeah.
too much in Star Trek. You know, like the laser about to cut you in half thing.
Except
Like,
that
no,
one
Mr.
time we
Morse,
literally
like,
had a James Bond
die.
episode.
Like I know this sounds kind of weird, but if they wanted to do like a mind thing, wouldn't they just have to glue like oh, what are those things called when you like glue pads onto someone for electrocardiograms?
a tensor thing.
Oh boy, where is this footage coming from?
The
Well-
last one came from Nemesis.
The Nemesis.
Well, he also had the subatomic episode with Kess, like 3
where he was burning alive.
There's also a
No.
Borg cube being blown up. That was probably 8472.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this guy's probably just walking cocaine for the... Tuvok is probably...
Trauma.
No, Tuvok is walking cocaine for this planet.
Oh, you
Why
want
you
some
sound so
violent
angry?
images? I'll give you violent images.
Oh, by the way, this is a lot like Cybok also, right? It's like, give me your pain or show me your pain.
But in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh, does he show this guy the release the force field? That'd
This
be
is so weird.
amazing.
There is some weird homoerotic undertones to this.
Yeah, he's being mentally penetrated. And he's loving it. Yeah, I mean,
Murder's
you
happening,
don't-
my dude.
You don't want to know everything, believe me. Yeah,
While you
Violent.
studied xenoanthropology, he studied the blade.
violence is horrific. They found that even like at the Nazi concentration camps, like the reason they had to invent the gas showers was because you can't have people just like mow people down with guns every day. You just needed a way to do it a little bit.
I mean, why do you think we still black bag people when we execute them?
For the executioner, right? But yeah, it's very taxing to like do that all the time.
So I have
So-
a weird, messed up question. How would this even work on a bi-species alien?
Poorly, I
Wouldn't this-
imagine.
Like, wouldn't it literally just lobotomize your
Yeah.
engineer?
Which is, it's probably... B'Elanna's going to have some lingering... What's
Side
the right
effects.
word? She's going to be mad at Voyager crew for not helping
She's
her
gonna
at
be-
all.
Yeah,
Oh.
She's gonna have like
Post-traumatic.
Lingering resentment, that's the word.
Wait, you left me alone to die there to be a vegetable?
Just so you can get your.
Because he
freaking
wanted
food.
some cans?
When you can easily replicate that?
He hates these cans.
B'Elanna, you don't understand. They were made of platinum instead of aluminum. They're so shiny.
Oh, it's Gwill, not Quill.
Yeah.
You mean a guy who was located at the scene of the crime twice is suspect?
So is Torres okay? Is she being lobotomized right now? What?
Yeah, this is pretty messed up.
Come on. It's
It's
really you can't.
basic. Do you think she's drinking her own Kool-Aid?
Yes. She fell for her own propaganda and she's like, no, we don't have crime here. Nobody would ever. That's crazy.
Oh, his name's Gwill with a G, not Quill with a Q.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you mean to tell me if you outlaw certain substances, people will just want it more?
What? That's crazy. What are you talking about?
And
They'll
rather,
just put it on hard drives and smuggle it in if you like censor the internet.
and you mean to tell me that if you don't have an actual infrastructure that teaches you about the negative side effects of these items, people will just consume it en masse?
And they'll get addicted to it because like we just love to be psychologically addicted to things.
Mhm.
Are you telling me that Star Trek is doing social and political commentary in an episode of sci-fi?
That applies to our modern day existence.
Possibly be.
You know, I was
Well,
about to say
it cannot
Kardashians,
be.
but I watch Star Trek too much. I always say Cardassians.
The
But yeah.
Kardashians have no honor.
It worked.
There's this joke of like both the Kardashians and the Cardassians are omnipresent leather skin titans.
Omnipleasant?
Omnipresent
I would argue they are not omnipleasant.
leather
Yes, I
skin
also
titans
watched the Honest trailer for the Next Generation.
plotting galactic domination.
One
Yeah.
race
They
of
shouldn't have
cold-blooded
gone into
reptile
it at all,
people,
Doctor.
and the other one are aliens from Star Trek.
But which of them are reptiles?
Neither.
You sure?
Listen, do you want a biology lecture?
Are you sure the Kardashians aren't reptiles?
I don't know,
Wearing
I've never
human
seen
skin?
one blink.
This is like when Tom Paris was fed the the memory of the murder he didn't commit over and over every 15 minutes. This is kind of why Voyager was always my least
Wow,
favorite.
Kuvok, that's so racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's always punching someone in the face.
So every show in Star Trek has a species you're allowed to be racist against. TOS, it was Klingons.
Yep.
TNG, it was Cardassians, I think. DS9 was Ferengi. Who is Voyager racist against?
No,
Is
hold
this
on,
still
hold on.
Cardassians in Deep
You know,
Space Nine? Though?
obviously.
Yeah. No, hold on. No.
No, we
In,
get the
In TNG, they're racist towards everyone, but just said, oh, they're just not as advanced as us.
yeah. They have this very
Paternalist.
supremacist, like
Yeah.
the U.S. Navy rolled up, open up your borders, Japan.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
And then demand other cultures be subsumed or accommodate them as opposed to the other way around.
Well, if you want the technology, either put up or shut up. But at least they don't the Klingons. They basically, I don't know, they keep slaves pretty much of their colonial populations.
So it's actually, if you have a culture that's so dedicated to warfare, you would actually have a subset of the population that'd be nothing more than a helotry, unlike Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what
Not unlike Sparta.
What Janeway's saying here is crazy, right? Because
Yes,
Seven was
it is.
saying it's unacceptable that they almost lobotomized their chief engineers. Janeway was like, no, it's totally worth it. We learned about a culture.
Okay, do you think if like Alana ever learned about this conversation, be like, you know what, the Borg girl has some good points.
Yeah, no, I'm out. Screw you guys. This is why she left Starfleet in the first place.
Yeah.
Valana did say to Tuvok, you wouldn't let them lobotomize me. And it's
And
like, yeah, they did.
It was 100% gonna let them lobotomize you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, what if all the little like mishaps later in the series are just her being passive aggressive? Like, oh no, your replicator's down, Janeway.
Oh no, Janeway,
It's a good
your
thing
copy's
I have the brain to
decapped
fix it,
now
huh?
Forever.
God, if
I'll add
Tuvok
it to the list.
Tuvok was knocked unconscious and dragged away. If he was unconscious for like 30 more seconds.
Yeah, she would be a vegetable.
I'll
This
leave the
stream-
baddies.
This
I
stream
think
started during the pandemic, also known as the Year of Hell, or 18 months of hell.
I would argue this has been more like 3 years. I saw this coming back in August of 2019, and no one believed me.
Yeah. I was around that time. I was it's like November. I was looking at the stuff coming out of China. I was like, man, I really hope that doesn't come here. Yeah.
I think I
March.
remember seeing it. I'm like, isn't it weird how it's like foreign disease outbreaks never get over here?
Yeah, SARS, MERS. They all
Ebola.
stay over there. They all wear masks over there. I wonder why.
America.
Not weird. We have whole systems for it.
Also,
If we
there's an
close,
ocean.
if we cut off international travel, then suddenly we're xenophobes. So you just gotta let all that disease
Cutting off
into the country.
international travel, like when we did it for COVID, was a really bad idea and is still being like used to like prevent acceptance of asylum seekers.
Thanks, Ryan.
And-
Thanks, Sean.
And then our dementia president in chief said, "Hey, the pandemic's over."
Oh,
No.
jeez.
We
He
wouldn't
deadass
get
said-
political on a Star Trek stream. That's crazy.
I want to continue, but I don't want to be arrested for terroristic threats.
Whoa.
You're inspiring impure thoughts in others with your dangerous rhetoric.
I mean, it's not like someone said, "Yeah, the virus is over. We can all go back to work." I'm like, "You son of a..."
Well,
Anyway.
clearly, it's declare victory over the pandemic.
Yeah,
Just
it's
before.
just before re-election. Yeah, it's a political stunt.
Okay, moving on from that. Next week, 3 episodes concerning flight, which is Gimli gets integrated into a future society and he has to like beat the prince over the head. And then they fly around in like a paper airplane. It's a whole thing. And then
Bucket
Mortal
Orville.
Coil Mortal Coil where Neelix dies. And then he gets better.
He-
Then he gets
And
better.
Waking Moments, which I don't remember. What was Waking Moments?
That's the one where the aliens are attacking them in their dreams.
They find the aliens.
That's just weird.
It's Nightmare on Elm Street, but for Star Trek.
Okay, good to know. I vaguely remember. I'm looking at the Memory Alpha page. Was there like one alien that was awake and it was like harvesting people or?
No,
No, their entire civilization
it's
is in like some type of
self-defense.
stasis.
While they sleep. Except it's not really because they're just going and killing people.
Yeah, they're basically just letting people starve to death by having them just not wake up.
Okay, so yeah, that's next week. And
But can you imagine if there was a Denobulan on the Voyager crew? And how easily that could be circumnavigated? I don't have to go into hibernation for 53 more months. Woohoo!
even Vulcans can go without sleep for quite a while, can't they?
Yeah, they can go for like 14 days before they're like adversely negatively affected.
Frickin' Vulcans, they're just better at everything.
Well, if you take into actual IRL biology, which Star Trek never does, they would have to eat like Michael Phelps every day just to survive.
Wait.
Michael Phelps.
They would have to eat Michael Phelps,
Michael
or they would have to eat
cannibalized?
similarly to how Michael Phelps eats.
Yeah. Like
What-
The hardest
they're
part about eating Michael Phelps is the ears.
No, dude, it's the bones.
No, it's the 13 gold medals. How many gold medals does he have? Maybe it's
Yeah,
more
like-
than that.
Way more than 13, though, I guarantee it.
Okay, that's next week. I'm gonna go study, and you guys can do whatever you guys do when the stream's
He's
done.
got 23 gold medals, 3 silver, and 2
I'm clicking the
bronze.
end stream button. It's done.